What's going on? I hope you guys are doing well. Yeah, my reaction video this past week probably got the most views that I've gotten so far, so thank you for that. I was not expecting it, but here we are, so I appreciate it. That one was fun to react to. It's a really, really good song. If you haven't checked it out, you should go watch it. I'm just kidding. Just watch it if you want or are interested. It's fine if you're not. I'll just go cry in the corner. I'm going to do another analysis video this week. We are going to do Arrow Through Me by Paul McCartney and the Wings, which I still feel like is an underrated song. Like, it's not that underrated, but it still is, because it's not one of those songs where like, yes, I'm going to hear this on the radio when I'm driving to the grocery store. Like, no one's going to play it, so, but it's a really good song and I love the chord progression in it. We're gonna analyze that today and we're gonna go from there. Also, I would like to remind everybody before I get like super far into it that I say this is an analysis video. This is still music, it's still art, it's still a song, so everybody is entitled to their own opinion about this stuff. I'm just giving you some of the theory behind it and things that I thought that worked or didn't work. And that's it. So like, take it with a grain of salt. And, this is purely just stuff to delve deeper into the song itself and really just, at least for me, gain a deeper appreciation and understanding of the song itself and the music. So that's where I'm coming from. As far as like what angle I'm attacking it from. So don't get too caught up if like you have a different opinion or, if I'm like, oh, I didn't like this as much, but you loved it. Don't let my opinion sway yours. So it's purely my thoughts. If I'm like, oh, I didn't like this, I like that, so please, I always love having healthy discourse. So yeah, that's all. That bass intro first is just oscillating from, it starts on F sharp and you're just playing octaves. So you're just going, right, and then you go up to G. And you do that again, so. And then on the last one, you go down to F, and then to E. So that part's simple. We're gonna get into the chords for the verse first. There's a lot of like modulation in this song. Not a lot, but like there's definitely some, and there's borrowed chords and things like that. So I'm gonna try and make this as easy as possible. The verse is in the key of E major. E major, honestly a pretty standard like guitar key, just because you have open E. The first chord is E, just E major, and then E7, and then A, and then this is C sharp 7 sus 4. So move the third up a half step. So instead of, there's that 4, and then it goes down to the regular C sharp 7. Then you go to F sharp minor 7. Then to B. If you're in the key of E major, E is obviously 1. E7 is a borrowed chord. So this is a 5/7 of 4, because the following chord, which is A, that's 4 in the key of E major. Basically what you're doing to get that E7 is if you were, say you were in the key of A major, what would the fifth be? That would be E, correct? So if you're going up the scale of A major, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right, which is E, right? So in the key of A, that would be E7. And that's how you get the E7 of A, which is 5, 7 of 4. And then you do C sharp 7 sus 4. Down to C sharp 7. This is another borrowed 5, 7. So this is 5, 7 of 2. Because F sharp minor 7, which is the next chord, the fifth of the F sharp scale would be C sharp. That's how you get the C sharp 7 of F sharp minor 7. So that would be 5, 7 of 2. Okay, so 5, 7 of 2, 2, right? And then you go to B. I just do B major, but you can do B7 if you want. So that's just going to be, you know, I think it sounds better with just the B major without the dominant 7th in it, but that's just me. And that is the 5 of E major as a whole. I actually really like this, the bass line at the beginning. It's, I mean, it's pretty simple. They're just playing octaves, but it's pretty groovy. I mean, I don't know. I like the intro. It's interesting that they used like this bass line for the intro. Because at least personally, typically I wouldn't think to use bass as an intro. But that might just be me. But yeah, the bass line is cool. I also like the accent that they do after certain lines in the verse. So it's like, ooh, baby, you couldn't have done worse thing to me. Yeah, so just those hits, those offbeat hits, I really like those details where the whole band hits that. So far, it's pretty chill. I will say beforehand that, like, I'm gonna be honest, because I know the Scary Pockets version of cover of this song as well, and personally, I like the vocals on that one better. I am a little biased. I am just a little biased though towards that one. But I will say the vocals are not my most favorite part of this song. I like that they're like smoky and they're sort of lax is pitch wise. Like it's not like super exact as far as hitting the pitch right away. But yeah, I don't know. There are certain parts where I feel like they are he is straining a little bit to sing. So I'd say that's my one thing for this section. But generally I like the vibe of it. And like I said before, just the band hitting those offbeats together makes it sound super clean and adds a nice little touch to the verse so it's not all the same. And yeah, let's go on to the next section. Would have been a finer flame, would have been a major attraction with no other thing, offering a note of distraction. Come on, get up, get underway, bring you love. Ooh, baby, you wouldn't have found more down hero if you'd have started at nothing and counted to zero. And then you get to the key change, and I'm going to go through the chords of that first and then go kind of through the Roman numerals of it. I put this in the key of E minor now, this second part. So it goes, this is the verse. And B, and then it just goes up a half step to C major 7. Down to B flat major 7. And then you can hit the F if you want, just F major, so it goes. Could have been a finer thing, could have been a major major attraction with no other thing, offering a mode of distraction. And then you get to E minor 7. And then I do, this is, some of the chords are debatable for whoever is doing the theory, but this is what I got. So I got E minor 7, C major 7, A minor 7, D major, up a half step, and then you're back into the verse. Ooh, baby. Okay, so you're going. This is come on, get out the way, bring your love, oh baby. Right, in the key of E minor. I'm doing this in the key of E minor because it makes the most sense as far as the modulation. So the C major 7 is 6 major 7. The B flat major 7 is a flat 5 major 7. Then you do that again, right? And then when you go up to E minor 7, that would be the 1 because you're in the key of E minor now. Then you're back to C major 7. I just, instead of doing it down here on the 5th string as the root, you do it on the 6th string as the root. So A minor 7 is 4 minor 7. D is 7. Then I just consider, I don't really label this one just because it's just a passing chord up into E major. So this is what that second half of the, I guess the chorus would sound like. Ooh, baby. You do the verse chords again. Instead of from the F sharp minor 7 going to B, you go up to G. I do G7. I think it sounds cool. And you're going back and forth like that. I did the F sharp minor 7 to G7 in the key of C sharp minor because the riff that they play, the horns play, is a C sharp minor blues riff. So I put it all in the key of C sharp minor. The F sharp minor 7 is 4 minor 7 and the G7 is 5 7, which makes sense. So we're just going back and forth. And yeah, so this horn riff is just in the C sharp minor blues scale. So if you don't know, C sharp minor pentatonic is where you start. So and then you just add that blues note. You're starting literally on C sharp minor, and I do it down here so you can hit that lower note at the bottom of the riff, but you're just going. It might take a little bit to figure out that rhythm if you are trying to learn how to play it, but overall it's very simple and all within the scale of C sharp minor blues. So after you do this riff, then you go to F. I personally like playing F major 7. I think it sounds cleanest. Some people just play F. That is up to you. Kind of what your flavor, what you want the flavor to be. So after you play this riff, F, and then down to E. And then you start over again. That is the basic chord structure and the little bit of the theory behind the chords of the song and why it sounds so funky and like cool. So I'm not gonna go too much into the melody. Let me know in the comments if you would like me to, or to do another video about the melody of it. But I think the chord theory right now is enough, and then some of the arrangement techniques as well. I love this key change. Yeah, again, with the vocals, like, it feels and sounds very, like, out of his range. Like, it sounds like he's, like, he's reaching for it. I really like how the bass is very upfront in this song in general, because I think the bass line is super cool throughout, and it's not super boring. It doesn't stay the same and changes up quite a bit. So yeah, I like that the bass is, like, pretty far forward in the mix. And the drums sit a little further back from the bass, and then the vocals have a lot of reverb on it, which is an interesting choice, because usually, especially in modern music, people like to have the vocals right up front and right in your face. So I like that it's not your, like, traditional how you would mix a song. I like that they doubled the vocals for "Bring Your Love." Yeah, I like that they emphasize that line with doubling the vocals. It sounds very much like they doubled the vocals instead of just adding, like, a chorus effect, which I like, because, you know, as easy as it is these days to add just, like, chorus to any, like, vocals or anything for any track for that matter, I think back in the day, you know, like, they didn't have a chorus effect, and so they just had to double the vocals, and that's kind of how you got the chorus effect that's how it was kind of invented in the first place. So yeah, I don't know, this verse after, when it comes back from the key change, I kind of wish it was a different take, because it is a little pitchier than the first verse, like, especially the "More Down Hero" was a little bit off, but yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of nitpicky, but I don't know. I did like that they put a, like fuck ton of, like, reverb on just the zero, and it just, like, rings after he's done singing it. Actually, I think that effect is really cool, and I just wish it was less bassy. I think there's too much, like, low end in that reverb tail. So yeah, that is also nitpicky, and, like, but I think it's a good idea, but I think it was still a little too, that extra reverb was a little bit too in your face still, if that makes sense. But I like the concept of it. I also like the hits for when the chord changes from the F sharp minor 7 to the G7. None of them are on, like, 1, 2, 3. None of them are on the downbeat. Some of them are on 16th, a 16th after a downbeat, and an 8th, like, an offbeat too. I'm not going to go into that, but one of my bands is covering this song, so I had to learn it. But yeah, I really like those hits for the chords. It adds a little bit more movement instead of just having the chords change on, you know, beat 1 or 3 and the usual suspects. I like that when the horns hit that high note, the high note is pretty short in articulation, and then it goes into more legato. So they really choose their articulation well, I think, in this, and it makes it bounce, but it's still groovy. So I like the articulation within the horns. I also like their choice of horns, that they got 3 octaves in there of horns. It sounds like they have a bari sax in there. So that's that lower octave, and then they have alto sax and trumpet for that higher octave. One pointer, I think the trumpet is a little too loud, but that's just me. I am a woodwind player, so you know, I played clarinet and bass clarinet growing up, so I'm kind of biased towards woodwinds, but I do think that trumpet's a little too loud in the mix. I think it cuts through a little too much. So I like that after the blues lick, then it's just like the bass line again, just how it started in the song, of just having the bass grooving. I actually like that they brought that back in between this blues lick and then the next verse. So yeah, I like that. And then it starts with the verse chords again, but with the synth and the rest of the band, just not with the vocals yet. So I like this little interlude between the bridge and the next verse.
Ooh, baby, you couldn't have done a worse thing to me. If you'd have taken an hour and run it right through me, I could have been a finer fling, flying in a right direction with no other thing, featuring but love and affection. Come on, get up.
Yeah, I would say I have the same note for this verse. Though when the key changes could have been a finer thing. I like that it was belted. Actually, I think I like that it was belted better as opposed to the first verse. It was very much like falsetto, head voicey. But it does sound like quite strained still, or like it's hard for him to reach the notes. That come on was like not even there. But so like it's just small things like that where it's like if it was that hard to sing, I would say if I were them, they probably should have just like moved the key down a little bit so it's easier for everybody to sing. I mean, I love the verse as it is. I love the notes that they chose. I love the chords, the arrangement. It's just the vocals that kind of throw me off a little bit. And that's partly why I like the vocals in the Scary Pockets cover better, because it's a woman singing it. So she's like, obviously she got those notes pretty easily and is kind of moving through that range more smoothly. So, but that's just me. I do like the like smokiness of his voice though. So I like that little like, what is that instrument? Like, I'm sorry, I'm like like a triangle thing that's like that like weird like I don't know. I like that noise anyways. I mean, I will still love this blues like till the end of time. It's so simple, but so good, especially at this tempo and under the chords they're using. Just the whole groove of it is really good. Again, I like the horns. Still wish the trumpet was a little quieter. I do wish, like, I really like the articulation. All the horn players, I can tell, like, just like they know their shit, you know. And this is probably a very easy line for them to play, but you can tell that they've been playing for a while because of the articulation that they all use. It's very clean. It's very together as a band. So I really like that. The only thing I would say is it gets a little bit too repetitive at the end. Like maybe if they added another note or maybe change the rhythm slightly of that riff when it gets like very repeaty at the end of, you know, of the same lick. That would be my only criticism of it at the end. I think the first time it does it the perfect amount of times to run through it and not get tired of it. But I think the end, it was a little repetitive at the end. So maybe either adding harmonies instead of just all of them playing like the unison, the same octave, the same note. You know, either adding harmony or changing the rhythm, just changing something to make it more interesting. But yeah, I also like the ending as well. I think it works well and closes out the song well, kind of matches the interlude and the beginning. So, I mean, overall, this is a fantastic song, and I love not only the chord structure of it, but the melody as well. I think is really, really good. I like the lyrics too, and they're like pretty angsty, you know? It's a vibe at the same time. I like that they used horns too. I feel like whenever there's like live horns in a song, I'm always like all about it. So that's just me though as a band kid. Yeah, I think Paul McCartney was a freaking genius for even coming up with a song like this. I mean, his songwriting is truly unmatched. And I will always like study his work because it's so good. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought and be safe out there. Make sure to rest and drink some water, and I will see you guys later this week.